Okay, today I got another quick video for the boys. Yes, it's just boys over here. Women go back to the kitchen. That's a joke. Please don't sue this shitty little channel. Okay, let's get into it. Now, connecting to internet. Now, usually on Arch and all these minimal terminal-based distros, or not terminal-based, but minimal terminal-reliant distros, you will end up using some terminal command line utility to connect to the internet. I'm using NMCLI. I think it's, Network Manager. And usually how you do that is, first, you will type in a command to list all the available connections, which you can see I've done that before, and then it takes a while, and then it'll list everything, and then you change list to connect, and then you put the name, which you can use tab auto completion. So I'm just going to go TP, that's my one. Okay, and then you press tab again, and then you can see password, and then you type the password here. Things like exclamation marks, you need to put a backslash before it, and so on. And then you press enter, and then it connects to the internet. Now, we can actually turn this into a shell script, because every time you see a bunch of information outputted on the terminal, and it's separated by a bunch of lines and whatnot, that is the perfect instance to use this thing called dmenu. So let's actually go back, and then now I'm going to pipe this into dmenu. Forget about awk and all that for a second. Let's just see what happens when I do this. And you see, oh, okay, look at that. I have all the same options as before. I'm just going to press enter, and it's going to print it out. Okay, so now that is how we can choose our internet without needing to type all of this all the time. But there are actually ways we can make this a lot easier. So if we actually go back and add the terse option, you'll notice that we get it in a more condensed form. And this form is really, really useful because now we can actually pipe this into cut. And if you pick the 8th field, oh, and here's another thing you'll notice. You'll notice that the separators are actually colons. Okay, these things separate the points. So now if we pick the 8th field, something nice happens. There we go. Everything here is just the name. This is just the SSID name, which, if you paid attention earlier, is what you actually use to connect. You have the SSID name, and then you have the password. Okay, so how can we turn all this into a shell script? So now we've already cleaned the output into a nice dmenu form. So if we actually do that, Wi-Fi list, we use cut, and we pipe this into dmenu. Okay, we have to use the terse option. Okay, so now if we put it into dmenu, you'll see that, oh, look at that. We just have the names on the top. And if we do something more like -I to ignore cache, -L, and let's put 10. You see, we get a nice list on top over there. 200 acre woods. That's pretty funny. So now let's turn this into a shell script. Okay, and this is the actual shell script. Now this is an older version where I used awk, skipping the first line and printing the second field. But this is actually a lot more difficult to do. It turns out what you need to do is use the terse option. This is going to make it a lot easier for the data to be printed and dealt with things like cut. And cut is also a lot faster than awk when it comes to picking certain fields of output. And then dmenu -I, ignore the case, -L to list it downwards. And okay, now here's where we get into something a little bit complicated. There are two ways you can take the password. First, you can use read, or you can use dmenu itself. Now, read is faster, but the thing is, this command is not always going to work from the terminal. Sometimes you'll just want to bind it to a key, like I've done right here. I press mod S, and then I can see over there, internet NMCLI. I press enter, wait a while, and then all right, let's connect to the 5G option, which is the second internet in my house. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to input my password. And after a while, you can see it disconnected. Okay, now let's put Wi-Fi list again, and you'll see that I'm connected to the other one. All right, and the reason I use dmenu is because you can do it without the terminal. If you use read, you will have to run the script from the terminal like this: scripts, internet, you'll have to run it like this because read takes input from the terminal. So this is just a lot easier. And I just put echo password here for the test. We don't really need that either. And then in the end, we finally run this command, which actually connects us to the internet. And just to show that again, just to flex on the GUI cux, let's connect back to the old internet I had at the start, NMCLI. Wait a little bit. And then I pick the first one, which is the one I normally use, 720. My password, I will probably cut that out. Wait a little bit, let the icon come back, list the Wi-Fi, and now you can see I am connected back to the old one. And that is how you connect to the internet with shell scripts. Everything from the terminal can be automated, it is way faster, and it allows you to personally customize things to your key bindings or your menu of key bindings. So again, power of dmenu, thank you for watching, and have a good one, boys.